We'll start with the mediation committees, whoever's there to give the report for the work that was done today.
Just stand up and introduce yourself.
The mediation committee, we have proposals. A, going to the police academy and having the commissioner there. We find out that a lot of things that are being implemented by the police antagonizes and further makes volatile the relationship between our young men and the police. The second thing is going to these high schools and making presentations that deal with the situations that come up. For example, a young man, two men are going through a situation that they said they'll settle it after school. I'll see you after school. What we do is we're going to show that whole thing, how it happens, what happens, and the joint consequences of the actions. Through that, we're going to have future goals and recommendations from the people. What did you like about it? What didn't you like? What wasn't said? What do you think you would like to be presented? Through these future goals and recommendations, we're dealing with abstract principles. We know what we have here, but we need to put it in the concrete. The thing that we know that's true, the harder thing to correct is our own ignorance.
That's right.
In the abstract principle, we'll see that going through these situations about the consequences, that the enemy is the enemy. We are our own worst enemy. We got to stop fighting self.
Right.
The last in this is not what you know that's the problem. It's what you know that ain't so is the problem. Oh man, I thought you said. Nah, man, I ain't. Well, all this comes back from the same thing, that we have to begin to take responsibility for our own self.
That's right.
For these abstract principles 1, 2, and 3, the major key is the trust factor between the police and the younger kids.
Good job.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so
It's right here if you wanted to see it.
no, we want each committee to give a written report.
Okay.
So when we meet, as we put in the minutes that what each committee is worked on, we could keep a minutes of what's taking place, and then that way everybody know what each committee is doing.
Right.
So if that's the committee report,
Yes,
then
sir.
I can get that,
Okay.
and I'll have that next week as part of our minutes.
Okay.
Any questions about any input on it, or if everybody good with it?
That was good. That was good.
Thank you.
Let's have the cleanup committee.
Yes, briefly, based upon the work we did last week, the absence of Tyrone, and this is the committee, we were just following up, and what we need to do as a committee is needing participation of the community. And in order to get that participation, we need to let them know we're trying to attend to their needs. But we, in a manner of being humble and asking them permission so we could do so. You know what I mean? We're not going to go in a forceful manner. We're going to go in humbly to ask them permission and find out how we can better serve them. And then in return, hopefully the immediate community, the hope is that it will promote them to have a willingness to participate. We need participation. It's a group participation thing going on here. And as well as knowing that, we're going to have to do this like a block at a time, so we're going to communicate with the block captains. And from the block captains, based upon our manpower, we determine how much we could get done in that immediate community, one block at a time. We're talking about printing up brochures, involving the community, preparing ourselves to be invited. And once we're invited, they know that we're coming, and is our presentation and how we will be seen with our logo that, we'll be a positive role model in that community. And we're here to help and serve. That's the basis how we're going to, approach each block or community at a time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the basis of what we, follow through with from last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Good job.
Y'all wrote that down, right?
Yeah, I'll rewrite it for you, Stan.
Okay,
I got
okay.
it, yeah.
You did send me yours.
Yeah.
Okay, any discussion, any input on the cleanup committee's report?
Good job, cleanup committee.
If we go to security committee.
My name is Hans Rapp.
Yeah.
On the security committee, we got two new brothers that we added that came and joined us. Brother Jamil and Brother Diop Thomas joined the security committee. We have 9 bullets that we were able to talk about and discuss. And one was trying to get an understanding of the neighborhood that we intend to secure. Number 2 was one of our members mentioned giving sandwiches in the community. Another one of our members mentioned approaching conflict with charity of a meal for different areas that might be impoverished. And then we talked about getting with the mediation team, helping to identify different conflicts in the community. We talked about having a charity event through the mediation committee as well as the securities committee. So we also want to have participants on the security committee. We want to interview them to make sure that everybody is in accordance when we go out and we secure these areas. Whatever our assignment is, whatever assignment we are given, we want to make sure we got the best manners, conflict resolution. Make sure we don't have hotheads and people who may be adverse to what the Black Male Community Committee is trying to perform in the Philadelphia area. So, and one of the other bullets that we talked about is another ethnic group that may want to join our organization, and then we also something else that was raised was women allowed into this particular community and organization as we stand today. So these are the things that the security committee came up with today to talk as a whole, as a group, and as a community committee. Thank you.
I got questions. I have a question.
Yes.
When you say other ethnic groups that joined us, what do you mean by that?
Well, my son was here the first time we had the meeting. I came with my son and my stepsons, and we had a conversation. And my son asked me if, I'll give you an example, if somebody of the white ethnic community wanted to join, could they join? And then when we were in the security meeting today, it was asked about another ethnic person that may have wanted to join. And I gave a little answer of what I know, meaning this is a black male community right now. But that question was still brought up.
For now, charity begins at home. We want to be able to feed ourselves so we can be strong again as we were. Then if anybody else want to contribute after the fact, it's good. But we don't want too much cream in our coffee. Put it like that.
I'd like to add something too.
Okay, good.
When you have a lot of people going to the hospital, and they have a room which is called the emergency ward. And we, as black people, we have been the worst as far as going into the emergency ward. So we need to be taken care of immediately, because we have a psychological effect within our mentality, our lifestyle, our culture, and everything. So we, like the brother said, it's a family affair, and we need to really, really stay within our means of our family first and get our family together first.
You had something? Are you good?
No, pretty much, brothers answered it already. I got my answer.
Okay, y'all have a written report for us?
Yes.
I'm gonna send an email to you.
Okay. Education, any more discussion on the security committee?
Yeah, Brother Stanley, also the question came up about the female role in the organization. Could somebody expound on that? Because I know we have participants from Mothers in Charge and stuff of that nature, but what is or is there a female role in this black, I know that the title is Black Males, but what is that? Could somebody answer that?
Well, if you let me answer it, the work, the boots on the ground work, hopefully is being done by black males. If the black females like Rochelle doing what she's doing in behind the scenes, Pam and them helping us behind the scenes, any behind the scenes stuff, great. But as far as the public and we working, we want it all to be black male on the boots on the ground.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I hope everybody agree with that.
I do. 1,000%.
It's always going to be a female being the buffer.
Yes.
If you look at anything else, there's always a female that's behind it. It's time for us to set ourselves up by our own bootstraps. You want to bring your own money home to mommy. Right. Let her know that you growing up now and you're responsible. Say, no, mom, I got you this time.
Yes, sir. I like that. Yeah. If there's no more discussion on the security committee, let's go to the education committee.
My name is Yusef Jones.
Hey,
brother, we got a couple new members in our committee as well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Prince, and what was your name, brother? Maury. And say it again. Brother Martin. What we outlined, we picked up from where we started from last week, and essentially what we come to terms with is that we need to put together an educational package, and that we are able to disseminate across all the platforms. And we need to set up liaisons so that we can go into all the major institutions, from the prisons to the schools to the community centers. We decided that the demographic that we felt that was most at need is our youth from teen to young adult. We want to target those for the educational packet. And some of the work product that we're talking about developing to teach is conflict resolution skills, what it means to be a black man and black manhood. We're going to be Afrocentric in our historical approach. We want to incorporate personal responsibility, violence prevention and reduction, fatherhood, entrepreneurial skills. We want to reintroduce civic education. We want to have vocational component so that the young people who are out of school now can develop the skills that will allow them to reintroduce themselves into the economic mainstream. We want to put together a speakers bureau that can deliver the educational material that we are going to develop. We conclude that the purpose of education is empowerment and to teach how to think. Have I missed anything?
No.
Any questions, concerns, suggestions?
I got one question. Are you able to submit that as a written report today? Are you at? Huh?
My notes are scattered.
Okay, well, you'll be able to email me. Okay, great. Okay, any discussion on the education committee?
One other point. Brother Prince told me that I forgot to include economics as part of our educational package.
And basically, that's because the vocational concept, when we talk about young brothers between the ages of 17 and 25, the pushback for them to get traditional education is going to be hard. What we want and what I'm hearing is just that, self-empowerment. We're looking for people to start businesses so our dollars circulate. We're looking for vocational things, plumbers, electricians, carpenters. These jobs aren't going away. These are also businesses. So what we're looking to do is empower the young brothers to do things of that nature so that we can make our own little collaborate. You offer a service, he offers a service, we trade services off. We're going to try to make committees or like little communities. If South Philly is a big place, and we're going to have a little community within South Philly. Same thing, West Philly. And all those places collaborate, and we're going to begin to try to grow our situation in regard to education. For my part, is vocational.
Good job. You had a question?
Yes. Just a suggestion. This education is so important that we have to realize that we suffer from post-traumatic slave syndrome. That we still got the Willie Lynch syndrome. If some of us tried to rise up, there's always somebody trying to pull them back down. We have to see that what we're looking at now, we have to cut some things off. To make it plain, we have to learn how to kill that nigger in us.
That's what we intend to do. By giving awareness.
Yes, sir.
Awareness. Because we are having a hard time learning who we are. We've been lied to for hundreds of years, and this has bled down throughout the community, and this is why we're suffering today. But if we get to know who we are and the beauty in our culture, then that can change. And that's the foremost of the educational process that we want to instill. We want you to know who you are. Brother, that's not a nigger. That's a man. And get them to understand what nigger means. And don't use it as a badge of honor, as some term of endearment. Right. Or change it so it can be a cute word from nigger to nigga.
It's still the same.
Still the same.
Still the same.
That education is satire. And there's the obvious meaning and the hidden meaning.
Yes.
Negro means never grow. Black means be lacking. Nigger is called a spoonerism. They got it from Niger, and they said nigger. We have to know the origin of words because words shape people.
Yes.
We have to be properly educated
Yes.
because we will never conquer anything until we conquer ourselves first.
Another thing,
Yes, sir.
Negro means neutral too. Get in your car and put your car in neutral. See where you go.
I just wanted to conclude with one historical observation, and that is simply that after the slaves emancipated themselves, they began to build their own towns and their own homes. And what we need to do, and the end of Reconstruction brought that to an end. And what we need to do is pick up from there and commence to building our own pyramids.
Okay. I mean, this is fantastic. I'm telling you, you couldn't make this stuff up. What we got, what's coming through here today, and now I don't know what our committee is. We just an overall committee. We the trash committee. We do anything and everything, right?
Move to the ground.
Mediation gated report.
Yeah, we were the
Where
first.
you
We
at?
were the first one.
Oh, that's why we did that.
You must have
We went to the men's room.
What y'all say?
No,
Give out the YouTube thing. So.
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
You're no patient.
I'm trying.
Okay, no patient. Last week we took care what we perceive as a good fundraising for us as an organization, because like we saying, we want to be self-supporting through our own contribution. And one thing you see, we came up we came up with our merchandise, and this what basically this will be our uniform.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get some hats made also, so when we out there on the streets, there's no question about who we are. And this is what we came up with as a design in our uniform, with some modification that we're gonna do on the next batch. And what we are asking everybody to do, we have a form here that's in the packet, and the form basically is this is the other one. This form here is basically what it would cost, and you can fill it out. And if you, whenever you get a chance, it's $50 for the T-shirts, the hat, and the sweatshirt. So every season we'll be in season, and this is the gear that we're gonna be using. Number one, as our uniform, but also part of our fundraising effort, because this will help us raise our own funds. And also we had talked about last week, which we have this form here, which different levels of a monthly donation. That those who can afford it give whatever you can afford, but this way on a monthly basis we have an influx of finances that we can support these activities that we all coming up with. And this is the form, so it's in that packet, but we also have some loose ones up here. So before you leave today, you can fill out these forms, and then we'll have an idea of what's going on. And as you see, we have some merchandise back there on the table, and I like the design. I like everything about it. But this, we're gonna get this enlarged so you don't have to just squint to see our name. So that's a couple of things we're gonna do. But that's part of our fundraising effort right now. Also, we came up, which was in the packet. We're going to have a old school cabaret in June the 29th, right now as we speak, and that's going to be a major fundraiser for us to give us a large influx of money. Because if we want to feed some of the people, we got to have some money to feed the people with. If somebody come up with us and we need brooms and shovels and everything like that, we got to have the finances to do that. So this will help us be self-supporting through our own contribution. Now today we talked about the rollout. We doing all of this planning, and we have to have a plan for our rollout. And what we talked about today was, one thing was, I talked to Rochelle Bilal and Rick, and they have some relationship with the Met, the Met Theater, and we're gonna try to get that building for our rollout, our call out. And if that happens, we're shooting for March the 16th for the call out. That gives us a couple more weeks from the original date to start to really putting our plan and putting everything in action. Because when we call out on that day, we want to be prepared on our end so there won't be no loose ends that we didn't cover. So March the 16th is the call out date that we're looking for. We did discuss putting a number on the number of men, but we decided to leave it open so we don't be trapped in as comes out at the Met on that day. Is going to be whoever comes out, and we're going to try to work with those who come out as compared to putting a number on it. We did talk about, as say for instance, and we're still formulating this. So this is not the final call out plan. We just started today. And we're going to keep working on it until we come up with something that makes sense and that the body agrees on. We were thinking about a catchphrase that we could use that would attract those males to come out on that particular day. And we say that the Black Male Council, Community Council of Philadelphia, boots on the ground call out. And somebody mentioned all hands on deck. So we want to call it boots on ground, all hands on deck, or whatever have you. So when we put this call out, we ask for all black males to come out and have boots on the ground and ready to work. So we were still working with that, but that's where we at right now. Media assets. We have an asset with Rick in the room, because Rick is almost, of course, he got his own radio show on Word. And also he have access to help us formulate how we gonna get the word out to get the people to know that we're gonna have a call out at the Met. And Rick is gonna help us with that, and whoever else that's in the room that have the wherewithal or the capacity to help us get the word out. Because for instance, we talked about, and Rick said the best time is 2 weeks before the event. So for 2 weeks for the event, we want to be on every media that we could get on, to let the brothers know that this event is taking place. Palm cards. We're gonna create palm cards. Again, that's where the money and the finances come in. Because we want to have palm cards, and we want to drop palm cards throughout the city, making everybody aware that on March the 16th at 12 o'clock, the doors will open at 11. The event will start at 12 o'clock. Be at the Met, and we don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But if you call yourself a man, be here and prove that your manhood is intact. Okay. And then we're gonna do a press release. We're gonna call a press release so the press can be there and we can have a big press release announcing what we are doing as an organization. And we talked about this here, which really say ID could be on announcement saying, my name is ID so and so. I'm supporting the call out, and that Rick will be on there, Mark will be on there. We just pick people who can have the ability to say, and this way they get the buzz out that it's a buzz that different people are supporting this event. And that's where we at right now. And of course, what we're gonna do throughout this week, hopefully we have a conference call, and that's why the conference call number is in there. So each committee don't have to wait till you come here on Saturday. Throughout the course of the week, you got each other's phone number. You can do a conference call with that number, and you can start to communicating. So when you get here next week, more will be done. So we're gonna do the same thing as this committee. And basically what we're doing right now is creating what the call out is gonna look like. Because can you imagine 500,000 brothers, and we have to have it organized so they get the message and we get the results that we want, their participation on this activity. So that's what we did today. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. Is there any questions in reference to
Yeah, I do. I wanted to, because I listened to everybody's committee. This is the first time that I've been here.
Welcome.
And I'm glad I did come through. I heard about an advertisement on WRD a couple of days ago. And when I heard that, I used to have a radio show on the same station.
461.
Was doing a Contractor's Corner was my show. I'm a contractor, but I'm also in real estate. And I heard some things here that said to me, and even we talked about in our group, which was capital. Gentrification is crushing us, not just in Philly, it's all over the country. And what I was hoping to do was also with the number of people here that if we pull together the resources where they're there, where we can buy up the real estate, we become the real estate investors, we become the developers. When you can generate the capital, I mean, it's good because I did promotions. We generated $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 when we did the shows, like what you were talking about with the cabaret. I did the comedy shows, and I built my house off of just promoting comedy shows. But what I'm saying in the real estate end of the business, the numbers are so much greater. If you buy a property at $30,000, $40,000, you put another $40,000 in it. Banks will give you the money. Hard money lenders, private lenders, they'll give you the money. You in turn sell that same property. I got a property in South Philly we're doing renovations on now. Selling for $275,000 with an investment for less than $100,000 between the purchase and the sell price and with the renovation. If that's the kind of money that, this organization can generate on a consistent basis, we can buy a property, the same kids that we're talking about that are issues that they're having issues with, we have something for them to come into. I hired them guys to come on my.
Can I help you for a minute?
Yes.
We got short range, long range, and medium range, right?
Okay.
What you're talking about, we have a program that fits that's packaged and ready to go. But what we want to do right now as we speak, we want to be able to hit the ground with security, cleanup, mediation, and education. So when we come out, we have a focus of these four right now. But in reference to what you're saying, we have me, Kofi, and we've already put a whole package together. We did the numbers, we did everything, and we got everything written up for what you're talking about. But what we want to do right now is, say for instance, we do what we plan, and it's no coincidence that today we got the 4 main committees that we need to start with. We got mediation, cleanup, security, and education. That's the main goal. If we do this for up from March to June, and we successful, and this is what's gonna make us successful: consistency. If we don't have consistency, everything we doing here is blowing smoke up our rear end. This gonna call for dedication and consistency. If we have the dedication and consistency, we don't have to worry about the whatever we need. The community is gonna see us. That's why we doing our own documentary. We doing our own public relations, because the public would know and see us out there cleaning. They see the brothers out there securing. They be at the mediation meeting with our own everything we do will be in our own privy, and it'll be out there. So we have a 3-month dedication, visualization, and we successful with that. We bring then the medium range and then the long range. But what you're talking about, trust me, we already got that package and ready to go. Like what you're saying. For instance, if we do what you're talking about, we can have our own vocational school, because those who are plumbers, those who are electricians, those who are carpenters, those who are painters, those who are cement workers would be the ones who carrying them young brothers and taking them underneath their wing. We'll create our own apprenticeship program, as well as create our own economic vehicle to enrich all of us as a people. So I'm saying to you, we there. Be patient and be patient, and we keep moving. We're gonna be able to show ourselves, number one, but then show our women, children, and elders that this is a group of men that, number one, have their best interests at heart, but also have a practical and applicable plan to achieve that outcome.
Could I just add one other thing?
Go ahead.
I gotta go.
Because I'm doing this right now, I wanted to put it out there for anybody that's here, that's interested in getting involved in doing this real estate business, that they get in contact with me, put the deal together, and that'll allow me to take $10,000, $20,000 plus and donate to the organization, so that we can so that there's another revenue source while you're coming up to where I'm operating. This is a source of rent income that's not, you don't have to do nothing for it. It's my donation, which I think is a benefit.
Okay, we're gonna write that down. Fundraising plan. Write that down. We're gonna say something. Fundraising plan.
Give me the YouTube. I gotta go. I need to call the station. Well, give me the YouTube thing.
Okay, the YouTube is pretty long.
I got a question too.
Let me
Go with part of your report.
Let me do this.
Okay.
Here, Rick, write that down.
Okay.
Because what it is this YouTube, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna text it to everybody. That way everybody can get it, because I wanna make sure everybody get it. So I got the numbers. And a lot of people, y'all got my texts about this meeting?
Yes.
Anybody did not get the text?
I didn't get it.
Okay, I don't know why. I gotta give it to you guys afterwards. So I sent out a text letting everybody know about the meeting today. So if you didn't get it, get with me so I can make sure I got your right phone number.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Hazrat.
Yes, you had your mission statement. You said the boots hitting the ground.
Not the mission statement.
Okay, not the mission statement. That statement was for what now?
That statement was a buzzword to attract the brothers to come out on March the 16th at the Met for the call out.
And it was suggested that I asked if this could be. It was suggested after you made that statement, if I could make a suggestion from this committee to add unity brings back the community, which goes with the statement that you made.
Okay.
It was just a suggestion, but unity brings back the community. To go with that boot statement.
Okay. Okay.
267-294-49-4097. That's you, right? Kofi? Huh?
267.
Uh-oh, wait a minute, hold on, Coach. Hold on, Coach.
Brother Najee,
Set up.
Brother Najee want to say something before we
Give it to me. Wait a minute.
First of all, I want to thank everybody that is here today. And I want all of you to give yourself a warm round of applause. All right? Another thing too is that each committee that we have here, I want each committee in your circle, I want you to grow a relationship with your brother next to you. All right? And I want you to say to your brother right now, say, listen, brother, I'm tired as hell what's going on in my community. And I'm so glad, brother, that you sitting next to me and that you've been standing with me and that you be working with me. Can you say that?
All together. Come on, man. Yo, brother, all together.
Can you say that?
We won. All right.
All right. So everybody lives in very different communities, right? In areas. It's good too for those that can make a relationship with your city council as well, because every part of the city that you may live in, it might be a bad one, it might be a good one, but we need to connect even with the political arena with them as well. So that we have everybody that's connected. We have everybody's connected with someone in the political arena. Someone live in Germantown. Oh, I know that city council. Or somebody live in North Philly. I know that city council. So grow a relationship with them. So when it's time to pull all of them together from South Philly, West Philly, North Philly, Germantown,
That's right.
we all have somebody in this group is connected with them, and we can make them work for us. All right. And also, if you have any bad areas that where you live at, let's talk about it. We can go in that area and we can really do something about it. But mainly that we can only be successful until we begin to know each other. All right. So the ones in your circle, get his phone number, call him up sometime, talk about what's going on. All right. Talk about the situation that's going on in our community, and keep staying on it that we're going to do something about it. You got to have that mentality, that motivation. And you got to be strong to your brother that, listen, even though, I don't know if I can really make this thing happen, but then you said, well, brother, we're going to make it happen. Someone has to be stronger than the other. Men sharpen men. All right, so when one man is weak, make him strong. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Good job, now.
One second.
Before we leave,
Excuse us.
Excuse me. Before we leave, those who can donate today, donate today. Those who can't, just make a pledge. So we could. This is all data. So we have a running data of at least with this information, and those who give us your sizes in reference to this here, so we can have all this. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write all this stuff up, and then we have a data on these two fundraisers that we already got in place. That is in-house self-supporting.
Hand me one of them. Okay, the one right there with the player. Amen.